This segment is brought to you by Buick. Exceptional by design. All right, welcome back to Bayou Time. I'm Martin Falls. Some news out of Assumption Parish. Sheriff Leland Falcon reports the arrest of 6 suspects charged by an Assumption Parish grand jury Tuesday on a variety of felony drug charges during the Operation Fresh Catch. Now, joining us now is the commander, Lonnie Cavalier, who's always transparent with us here at HTV. And we appreciate you being here, Commander. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having us, Martin. Appreciate y'all.
Yeah, and just right away, Fresh Catch. That's explain that. What was involved in that? And we'll bring the picture up real quick just to show the audience the amount of people that were brought in. And that's a lot of mugshots on one screen, Commander. So tell us about it.
Yeah, this has been an ongoing investigation, undercover investigation for the past 6 to 8 months. And it covered an extended period of time and targeted drug dealers accused of selling methamphetamine, fentanyl, Suboxone, cocaine, and are possessing these drugs as well as the prescription drug of Adderall. As a result of that investigation, the following suspects were arrested Thursday night and early Friday as per grand jury indictments handed down last Tuesday, September the 2nd. Clint Adam Landry, 46 and 159 North Bay Road, Pierre Part, Louisiana, was charged with distribution of methamphetamine. His bond was set at $100,000 and he remains incarcerated. Chance Michael Revere, 32 of 139 Paul Street, Pierre Part, Louisiana, was charged with possession with intent to distribute Adderall. He remains incarcerated with his bond set at $100,000. Nicole Lynn Grove, 134 Marianne Street, Pierre Part, Louisiana, was charged with distribution of methamphetamine and possession of methamphetamine, and she was also charged on a fugitive warrant. Her bond is set at $250,000, and she is presently incarcerated in the Lafourche Parish Detention Center, where she is being held for Assumption Parish. John Edward Westerfield, 33 of 30, 449 Castro Lane, Donaldsonville, Louisiana, was charged with distribution of Suboxone. His bond was set at $100,000, and a detainer from probation and parole, and he is being held without bond on the detainer charge. Caitlin Marie Landry, 29 of 6716 Highway 1 Belrose, was charged with distribution of methamphetamine. Her bond was set at $100,000 on the drug charges, and she is being held on a probation violation, and no bond was set on that particular charge. Also arrested in Thursday night's raids was Jamie Mark Landry, 54 of 106 Shane Street, Pierre Part, Louisiana, charged with possession of methamphetamine, interfering with a law enforcement investigation, and resisting an officer. He posted bond in the amount of $120,000. Spencer Allen Setatow, 31 of 114 North Curtis Street, Pierre Part, Louisiana, was charged on a warrant for distribution of fentanyl. His bond was set at $150,000. Seth Joseph Pujol, 35 of 2413 Lee Drive, Pierre Part, was charged on two counts of distribution of Suboxone, detainer from probation and parole, and a fugitive warrant from Iberville Parish. He is being held in the Assumption Parish jail without bond.
All right, so that's is that all of them? I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I said without bond, but actually his bond is set at $200,000 on the drug charges, $1,000 on the failure to appear from Iberville Parish, and he was already held without bond on the probation violation.
Okay. Are these all, Commander, let me ask you this. Are these all people that y'all deal with on a regular basis, or some of these new to the scene, or y'all pretty familiar with these people?
We're pretty familiar with them. Most of them are returners. We had a couple of new ones, and as reflected by the bonds, the judges are actually holding them on higher bonds, and on these probation violations, just holding them without bond. But we are familiar with most of these, and I've had them before. Uh, and these are not, we expect additional arrests as the next few days goes by. The grand jury indicted a larger amount than has been arrested so far. But we will be arresting additional people today and throughout the rest of the week till everybody gets apprehended.
Yeah, so there's a pretty strong message from you guys and gals out there in Assumption that this is a pretty big arrest.
Yes, it is, and we're doing our best to keep a lid on it, and we're going to pursue it vigorously between, the undercover agents as well as the our ICE unit, which again they've made a significant amount of arrests in the last few weeks as well, and we are in a period right now we are focusing very, very heavily on the drug violations.
All right, Commander, we'll take a break. We'll come back with two other stories that you're going to present to our audience. So we'll take a break right now on HTV. We'll come back more with the Commander, more arrests in Assumption. This segment was brought to you by Buick, exceptional by design. All right, we're back with news in Assumption Parish from Commander Lonnie Cavalier with the Assumption Parish Sheriff's Office and Assumption Parish Sheriff Leland Falcon, of course, reporting several incidents in Assumption Parish. So we're going to go right back to the Commander. If we could start off with the suspicious vehicle drug law violations and obstruction of justice story.
Yes, sir. Blake Thomas Falcon, 44 or 461 Highway 400 Napoleonville, was arrested on felony drug charges arising from a suspicious vehicle investigation in the Pierreport area. A uniformed patrol deputy observed suspicious activity in the area of Marie Court off of Highway 70. The deputy approached a subject near the rear of a pickup truck who was not the owner. The subject directed the deputy towards a home and observed an individual now identified as Blake Thomas Falcon. When Falcon observed the deputy, he threw drug paraphernalia to the ground and attempted to destroy it. Blake Thomas Falcon ran into the home, at which time the deputy observed Falcon throw items onto the ground. As he ran to the rear of the home, the deputy pursued Falcon. As he ran away from the home, the deputy was able to arrest Falcon. The deputy was able to locate several packages of suspected methamphetamine he observed Falcon throw. The deputy then made contact with the other male subject who was outside. That individual, now identified as Patrick Joseph Landry, 61 of 304 Shell Beach Road, Pierreport, attempted to remove items from the parked vehicle. When ordered to stop, Patrick J. Landry resisted and moved aggressively towards the deputy. Patrick J. Landry was eventually subdued and arrested. Blake Thomas Falcon was booked into the Assumption Parish Detention Center on charges of possession of methamphetamine with intent to distribute, possession of drug paraphernalia, obstruction of justice, resisting an officer, and a detainer from probation and parole. Blake Thomas Falcon was ordered held without bond on the probation detainer, and bond on the remaining charges was set at $120,000. Patrick J. Landry was issued a summons for resisting an officer and released with a court appearance date.
All right, let's talk about the Ethan Cade Hebert, the drug law violations.
Yes, Ethan Cade Hebert, 28 of 108 Bend Lane, Houma, Louisiana, was arrested on felony drug law violations arising from a traffic stop on LE1 near Laverdeville. A narcotics officer observed a northbound vehicle on Highway 1 committed traffic violation and executed a stop of that vehicle. The deputy made contact with the driver, now identified as Ethan Cade Hebert, and engaged Hebert in an officer violator interview. While interviewing Hebert, the deputy observed assorted drug paraphernalia within the vehicle. The deputy noted Ethan K. Hebert to be confused of where he was at and where he was heading to. At the conclusion of the interview, the deputy believed additional investigation was warranted. The deputy requested consent to search the vehicle, which Ethan K. Hebert consented to. During the search, the deputy seized assorted drug paraphernalia and a Schedule I controlled dangerous substance. Ethan K. Hebert was arrested and booked into the Assumption Parish Detention Center on charges of prohibited acts, possession of a Schedule I controlled dangerous substance, possession of drug paraphernalia, and reckless operation of a motor vehicle. Ethan K. Hebert remains incarcerated with his bond set at $25,000.
All right, we have one more just coming in. We'll let you have the floor on it because it's hot off the press.
Yes, Brent Keith Leger, 49 of 103 Calhoun Street, Morgan City, Louisiana, was arrested on multiple felony charges arising from a traffic incident on Lane Street in Bayou, Louis. A uniformed patrol deputy assigned to the ICE detail observed a vehicle stopped on a Lane Street and obstructing traffic. The deputy made contact with the driver, now identified as Brent Keith Leger, and engaged Leger in an officer violator interview. At some point, the deputy ordered Leger to exit the vehicle, of which he refused to comply. The deputy removed Leger from the vehicle, at which time he offered resistance. Brent Keith Leger struck the deputy as he was being handcuffed and pulled away. After an extended struggle, the deputy was able to arrest Brent Keith Leger. During a pat-down search of Leger's person, drug paraphernalia and a quantity of methamphetamine was seized. During the booking process, it was determined that Leger concealed a quantity of marijuana on his person, which was seized. Brent Keith Leger was booked into the Assumption Parish Detention Center on charges of possession with intent to distribute methamphetamine, taking contraband to and from a penal institution, disarming of a peace officer, resisting an officer with force or violence, battery of a police officer, possession of marijuana, possession of drug paraphernalia, stopping, standing, or parking outside a business or residence. Brent Keith Leger remains incarcerated with his bond being set at $150,000.
Y'all are staying busy in Assumption Parish, I could tell you that.
We're busy now, and we're going to stay busy for a few days.
Yeah, no doubt. You said they have more bigger operations in the future that you'll keep us posted on, so we appreciate that, and thank y'all. Keep up the great work, and we appreciate you reporting that back to us.
Thanks for having us, Martin. Appreciate what y'all do.
All right, there you have it, Commander Lonnie Cavalier with the Assumption Parish Sheriff's Office. We want to thank the Assumption Parish Sheriff Leland Falcon for that, and making sure that he lets Lonnie come on and give us the information in Assumption. We'll be right back. Don't go away. This segment was brought to you by Cardiovascular Institute of the South, providing our patients the highest quality cardiovascular care available.